Hello, and welcome to the Arizona Society of CPAs annual meeting. My name is Ben Seelick, and I will be one of your MCs for today's event. I have been an Arizona CPA and a member of the ASCPA for almost 20 years. I have held various different director-level accounting and finance roles in the Valley, including at U.S. Airways, Apollo Education Group, where I met this fine fella, and I'm currently the Director of Accounting at Best Western Hotels and Resorts. I've been involved in various committees at the ASCPA over the years, and I'm very grateful for the role the society plays in supporting Arizona CPAs. I'll now turn it over to my friend Ross here to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. Ross Granger, CPA. I'm also a 20-ish year member of the State Society of CPAs and an Arizona CPA. I'm currently wrapping up my 2-year board service. I've served on a number of other committees as well. And today I am the CFO at Paradox Inc. You may remember Ben and me from our Ignite CPAs presentation in 2014 luncheon, where we discussed how Apollo Education Group cycled their way to a performance-enhanced accounting and finance team. That video with us in our spandex is still available on YouTube, as well as the rest of the Ignite CPA videos.
Well, I saw you in your spandex the other week, Ross, when we were out riding our bikes, and you're still fitting in that nicely. So well done, well done. Welcome again, everyone, to this first ever virtual annual CPA Society meeting. We look forward to celebrating the very well-deserved honorees.
And we couldn't do any of this without our sponsor supporting us. We'd like to thank CPA Charge and Paychecks for outfitting us as MCs with some sweet swag. Thank you very much. And now we'll have a short video from these sponsors.
Hi, I'm Erica with CPA Charge, the online payment solution designed specifically for the accounting industry. CPA Charge is proud to help CPAs and accounting professionals expand their payment options and boost their cash flow. With CPA Charge, you can easily and securely accept credit, debit, and check ACH payments from your clients online. Plus, creating an account is easy with zero setup or cancellation fees and no long-term contracts required. Swing by to check out a demo and see why over 150,000 professionals trust our payment technology.
Hi, this is Bob Beck with Paychecks, and I'm so excited to be able to sponsor the Arizona Society of CPAs. And I just wanted to share with you all a few of our resources that we have available to the accounting community. And that starts with our accountant headquarters, which allows you access to all your clients' reporting information. Also, our Accountant Knowledge Center, really a site for updates that are accountant specific. Finally, we have our COVID-19 Help Center, which has helped literally thousands of businesses and accountants over this last year navigate these difficult times. And one of the things that we make sure that we are always delivering on is our payroll, HR, and compliance for your clients. And something that is particular to Paychecks is how we're able to handle the employee retention credits right now. Thank you all for the sponsorship. Looking forward to working with you in the future.
Now, our board president, Tom Duensing, will call the meeting to order.
Good afternoon, everybody. At this time, I would like to call the annual meeting to order. There's a copy of last year's minutes in the materials tab. They were also included as a link in the reminder email you received. So if there's a motion to approve last year's meeting minutes, please respond in the chat box. Okay, I've got a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Great. All members in favor of this motion, please vote yes. All members opposed, please vote no. Okay, that motion passes. The minutes are approved. At this time, I would like to welcome last year's treasurer, Rachael Crump, to give the treasurer's report. Rachael.
Thank you, Tom. It's been an honor to have served as your treasurer this past fiscal year. The Board of Directors of the Arizona Society of CPAs is pleased to advise you that the Society achieved its strategic measurements this past fiscal year. Despite a slight decrease in membership, continued competition for CPE participants, and the numerous challenges created by the pandemic, the Society's financial position for the fiscal year ended April 30 remains strong. Fiscal year 2021 results of operations reflect revenue and expenses close to budget, with revenues slightly exceeding expenses. During the fiscal year, the Society remained agile while moving to web-based education and service to memberships. This move necessitated an upgrade in technology. We built on our commitment to advocacy communications to support members and secure the future for our members. Our strong financial position enables the ASCPA to continue to honor its mission, maintain financial stability, and invest in the future of the CPA profession with its efforts to advocate on behalf of and in service to membership interests. In this shifting climate, we continue to monitor current developments and pivot to support members. The Arizona CPA Foundation for Education and Innovation continues to grant scholarships to talented students attending Arizona private and state universities and to high school students with an interest in accounting. During the past fiscal year, the foundation awarded $19,000 in scholarships. On behalf of the board and staff, I want to thank you for your membership and support of our profession. This concludes the treasurer's report.
I would like to recognize Ginny DeSanto for leading our organization as chair for the past year. Ginny's focus and determination were a guiding influence during her year as chair. Ginny led us through an unprecedented time, through a pandemic that presented both challenges and new opportunities, as well as hiring of a new president and CEO of the Society. We're grateful to her for her leadership this past year. Allow me to introduce the immediate past chair of the Arizona Society of CPAs, Ginny DeSanto.
Thank you, Tom. It has been an honor to serve as the chair of the ASCPA this past year. I truly appreciate the opportunity to have worked so closely with you, Tom, as well as the rest of the executive committee, Rachael, Andrea, and Jared. I could not have made it through this year without your help and advice through all of the weird things this past year brought. Last year, the annual meeting was delivered virtually, and at that time, who knew that this year's annual meeting would still be virtual? And what a year it was. A full year and then some of COVID and remote working, transitioning of the CEO of the Society, PP loans and the forgiveness of them, CARES Act, stimulus checks, IRS tax deadlines moving all over the place. This was a year where our profession really shined, and the need for collaboration and guidance from all members of the Society was important to the country and the citizens and businesses of our state. New connections were made across the membership as we all navigated our virtual worlds. The Society is recognized as a leader in advancing matters in Arizona and on national issues that are important to our members. Think how much more difficult this year would have been if you had not had the Society and its members to reach out to. This past year has been full of achievements that all of us are going to touch on shortly. I would like to remind us all that these achievements are the result of the knowledge and willingness of the Society's members to provide meaningful feedback and insights into their organizations and their practices. This insight is paramount to advancing issues important to the profession. The Society's achievements are the result of volunteers on various committees and boards working to keep our Society strong and relevant. But also important is the Society's staff leadership, like Oliver Yandle, Heidi Fry, John Baumer, and of course our partners at the Capitol, Domena Public Affairs. In spite of the unusual issues of this past year, the Society has remained fully engaged in understanding the continuing disruptions of our profession. Our organizations are being forced to adapt at the risk of being left behind. Adapting practices to the remote environment have changed how many businesses address labor force and business model assumptions. I am profoundly thankful to have worked with the board of directors that are willing to embrace the future of the profession with their commitment to serve the Society's membership. I have truly enjoyed our board meetings and engaged conversation on all issues. Thank you to the entire board for your dedication. As we move forward, please continue to question what we as a profession can accomplish if we choose to, and focus on being proactive rather than reactive. I am honored to pass the chair position to Tom Duensing, an excellent leader and advisor who will strongly guide the Society over the next year. I look forward to seeing him continue to help the Society grow and adapt. And I'm proud to have served with Tom over the last few years, and I look forward to being available to him during the coming year. Society staff, thank you. You are the strength and bones of our profession. Your efforts and professionalism are what make us great, what guides our profession forward, and what supports our members. You and your work are greatly appreciated, and I'm honored to have been part of your efforts. Thank you as well, Oliver. You've done an excellent job coming into your new role, and I look forward to seeing everything else that you can accomplish. It has been a pleasure and an honor to have been part of the selection process for the Society's CEO, and you have proven that we made a great choice. Thank you. And finally, thank you to all of the members of the Society. Without you, the organization would have no purpose. With you, it is unstoppable. Thank you all for your support. Tom, back to you.
Thank you, Jenny. This last year was filled with many achievements for the Society, and much of that success is attributed to your leadership of the ASCPA. Your dedication to the Society, its members, the board, and the profession is inspiring. Jenny, on behalf of the membership, we would like to thank you for your exceptional leadership. We have delivered items to honor your time as chair since we were unable to present them in person at this time, but thank you. The annual meeting of the Arizona Society of CPAs is now adjourned.
Now, let's begin our awards presentation with the Excellence in Teaching Award. You know, Ross, I remember back when I was a first-year accounting student at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, and I didn't really know what a debit and a credit were. Well, luckily, I had great teachers like Mona Nelson who encouraged me just to stay focused and continue to learn. And now, I don't know what I'd do with my life if I didn't get to work with the debits and credits every day.
Right. And that reminds me of my favorite professor at NAU, Dr. Bob, a tax professor, whose favorite response to the question of what is the tax treatment of a particular situation was always, what do old people wear? Depends.
Good one, Ross. I bet he was quite a character.
Oh, yeah.
So this award is given each year by the Arizona CPA Foundation for Education and Innovation to a university instructor who has shown their dedication and inspiration through innovation in the classroom and interaction with their students. Today, we will give this award to two amazing instructors.
Dr. Maria Rykaczewski is our 2020 award recipient. Maria is an assistant professor at the School of Accountancy at W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University. Maria joined ASU in 2013 and researches international financial reporting issues. Her projects examine the effect of regulation, enforcement, and other country-level and exchange-specific features on the quality of financial reporting and auditing. Maria's commitment to research enhances her ability to instruct her students. Congratulations to Dr. Maria Rykaczewski, the 2020 Excellence in Teaching Award winner.
Hello. First, I would like to welcome you here and thank you very much for this recognition and the award that I was given. I would like to acknowledge here people who I have to thank for this, and those would be my students. None of this would be possible without them and their effort and their helpful suggestions and comments year over year as I've been teaching this course. So now I will tell you a little bit of what I think of this award and what exactly it means to me. So when we talk about excellence in teaching and innovation in teaching, what I think of is the goal of reaching excellence, which frankly, I don't think is possible. And what I think is that the only thing we can do is just strive for that, for reaching that excellence, for doing better, because, well, our goal moves every year. Our students are different, the times are different, technology changes, and accounting keeps changing all the time. So the only thing we can do is just keep getting better. Now, what I do with that, or what do I do to get better in class? Let me show you a little bit here. So traditionally, this class has been taught with a textbook approach. Now, what I have done is I have changed things a little bit. So I decided to change the topics. So we've switched to more exciting subjects and topics that are more relevant to students, topics that are thought-provoking, showing that accounting has impact on the world and it is meaningful. Now, that engages students more than, let's say, the textbook type topics that we often cover in classes like this. What I have also done is I have decided to change the class from costing a lot in terms of materials to being pretty much free, where all the materials that I use now come from the accounting firms, which makes them a lot more relevant because, well, this is what the accounting firms work with, and this is what students will be working with. And also helping students realize where they can find resources that they may need. And again, for free without spending extra money, which helps also a lot, especially when students are already paying a lot of money for graduate school. Now, to give you an example of what this award is tied to, coming from my class from professional accounting research specifically, is an example of a research memo. The research memos serve as documentation of the research that students do, and normally they are done with this, again, textbook approach, where students read about writing a memo, and then there's an expectation that they will come up with a perfect memo at the end of the day. That doesn't happen, though. So I've decided to change things a bit. So what I've done is that I have taken what's freely available. So here, EY judgment framework. I've changed it a little bit, added a few columns, and I came up with a guidance table that students then can very easily reorganize and convert into a memo, where they simply take the cells, move them around, and have ready documentation. From there, students also go out and seek more information outside of the memo itself. Look at real-life examples of the situations they research, go and use Edgar advanced search text functions, and simply have fun with the process. Now, what does that mean going forward? Well, again, this is not the end. Excellence in teaching is a goal that we strive for achieving, but we can never get there. So this past year, as awkward as it has been, actually served as a great opportunity for improving things, for providing more chances for students to experience accounting research in real environment, but also to help them conduct research at a slower pace, or pace that is relevant for them and helps them do research more thoroughly. So the experimentation continues. And as always, I'm grateful to the students that I have every single year who work with me on improving the class and making it better for the future generations of students that come after them. Now, with that, an example here again of what we are working on now in my class, making things better for students, experimenting with technologies, but also the last word here that, again, all the students and the society as well deserve, a big thank you. Thank you for this recognition of the efforts that myself and all the other professors are taking. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
The 2021 recipient is Katie Maxwell. Katie is a senior lecturer and associate director of the Dhaliwal Reedy School of Accountancy at the University of Arizona. She's been teaching at the University of Arizona for 15 years. Katie teaches a first semester accounting course for students in the Eller cohort, which allows her to engage with every accounting major graduating from the program. Her effort outside the classroom to personally learn about every accounting major plays a significant role in student satisfaction and in the program's placement success. Congratulations to Katie Maxwell, the 2021 Excellence in Teaching Award winner.
Thank you so much for recognizing me with the ASCPA's Excellence in Teaching Award. I am truly blessed to be serving the accounting profession in a way that also fulfills my soul. Being recognized by your organization for my contributions is an extra bonus. I took my first accounting class in high school. As I look back now, I realize it was really more of a bookkeeping class. I loved it because all the numbers I needed were provided, the financial statements were always balanced, and there was no gray area. Little did I know that the actual profession was not so clear-cut. After graduating from college with an accounting degree and passing the CPA exam, I spent more than a decade in corporate accounting working with publicly traded companies. I'm so grateful for those experiences as it allows me to bring real life examples into the classroom. A passion for teaching was instilled in me at a very early age. My mom and dad are both public school educators, and I was able to watch them impact and transform lives through their work. To know that I am now in a position to have a similar impact makes me very proud. There's a few other people I'd like to thank for the way in which they've influenced my journey. The first is my intermediate accounting professor, the late Professor Fred Humphrey. When I missed a few of his classes, he came looking for me at my part-time job to make sure I was okay. Once he knew I was fine and that I had just not been prioritizing attending his class, he made it clear to me that I would not be missing any more of his classes. Needless to say, I stopped skipping his class. He taught me the value of ensuring that students know they are seen and that their presence is missed. I strive to show the same level of engagement and respect to my students. The second person is the late Professor Dan Dhaliwal. He took a chance on me when I shifted from the corporate world to academia. I can't thank him enough for that opportunity. As a side comment, we're thrilled to have officially renamed our school at the University of Arizona the Dhaliwal-Reedy School of Accountancy. This naming serves as a permanent reminder of the impact that Dan had on our institution and the profession. Dan had a generous and kind spirit and taught me so much about always striving to see the best in others. Finally, I want to thank my students. Their resilience and dedication to their education, despite the challenges they face, inspires me to continue to innovate and improve my own skills. They fill me with energy and hope for the future for our accounting profession and the broader community. Thank you again for this incredible award. Bear down and go Cats.
We are grateful for professors like Maria and Katie, who are preparing the next generation of CPAs for success. Now let's recognize our newest Life members. Life membership is awarded to members of the ASCPA who have provided outstanding service and leadership to the society and the CPA profession. Ben and I are mid-career with 20-ish years of experience. Ben, do you think we might be recognized as Life members after another 20 plus years of service?
I don't know, Ross. Depends.
Oh man, Ben. As with the Excellence in Teaching Award, today we are recognizing two new Life members.
Julie Klewer was selected to receive our Life Member Award in 2020. She served as a past chair for society as well as a past chair for the Arizona CPA Foundation for Education and Innovation. She was appointed to the Arizona State Board of Accountancy in 2014 and served as a board president from 2018 to 2019. She's taught accounting at the University of Arizona and is interested in doing so again in the future. She enjoys working with nonprofits and their boards. Julie is an asset to the CPA community, and we are excited to honor her with this Life Member Award. Congratulations, Julie.
Good afternoon. I wish we could all be together for this meeting, but I am grateful for the technology that allows us to attend virtually. I learned I'd be receiving this honor in late 2019. I got an email from Cindy Hubiak asking to set up a call with her and Mike Allen, who was the board chair at the time. I had recently finished my term on the accountancy board, and I had committed to myself that I would take a break and say no to volunteer opportunities for a little while. I was 100% sure that Cindy and Mike were calling to ask me to volunteer for something. And I actually felt guilty when it turned out that they were calling to let me know about this award. I was honestly shocked, and I remember thinking first, if I'm getting a Life Member Award, I must be old. Now, I'm a grandmother now, so old fits, but I wasn't back then. And then I remember thinking that there were so many other people more deserving than I. I know so many of us give back to this profession in many meaningful ways. I felt truly humbled and honored, and I looked forward to celebrating with my colleagues and friends at the annual meeting. And then we went on lockdown. And as I'm sure was the case for all of you, my focus shifted completely to trying to keep the wheels on and figure out how to take care of our team and our clients in this new remote world. So when the announcements started coming out for this year's annual meeting, and I once again saw my picture circulating in the Society's emails, my first thought was, oh wow, we're still talking about that? I do want to thank the Society, though, for allowing me to say a few words today. And I also want to acknowledge and congratulate this year's Life Member recipient, Anita Baker. She's done so much for the profession, both locally and nationally, and this award is well-deserved for sure. If we were all together, I'd be looking out at a table where my partners and the Ledwig, Kluwer, and Rudner team would all be sitting. So let me start by thanking Chris Ledwig and Eric Rudner. Chris and I will celebrate 18 years of partnership this fall. That's longer than some marriages. And Eric has been a partner with us for 11 of those years. I oversee the audit practice at the firm, and during the 12 plus years where I was out doing all this volunteer work that I'm being honored for today, our practice was growing exponentially. Chris and Eric supported me completely, and they picked up the slack when I was away from home base volunteering. Thank you guys, and thank you to the entire LKR team who supported me while I was pursuing these professional passions. My husband Scott would also be sitting at that table. He's the head of pediatric cardiology at Banner University Medical Center here in Tucson. During the majority of my volunteer years, our two boys were in middle school and high school. My volunteer work frequently took me to Phoenix or farther away from meetings. This meant that Scott often had to manage the chaotic schedule of two very active school and club athletes alone, while also building his own academic and clinical practice. He never complained, and he always supported me. Thanks, honey, I could not have done this without you. I want to thank Cindy Hubiak and the Society staff. Cindy and I are good friends today as a result of working together during my years on the Society board, and I'm so grateful for that. I also want to thank Monica Peterson of the Accountancy Board and her team. These two board experiences were vastly different, but equally rewarding. Cindy and Monica are both great leaders, and I was fortunate to learn from each of them. In thinking about my remarks for today, I knew it would be appropriate to say some positive words about the profession, and I also thought that might be a little challenging to do right now. We are all so tired, and not just from this bizarre tax season, but from operating in this COVID environment for more than a year. So I took myself out of this past year and instead reflected on my journey through this profession. And what I found during that reflection was joy, fulfillment, and pride. Joy. Joy from helping my clients. Sometimes it's with a technical issue, and sometimes it's just listening to a problem with a board member or helping them think through a strategic plan. Joy from working with and mentoring young professionals as they learn to problem solve and manage clients. I don't think there's anything more rewarding professionally than seeing someone else succeed because you cared. Fulfillment. Fulfillment from the combination of the challenging nature of our work and knowing that mastering the technical issues and translating those into helpful solutions for my clients has tangible impact. Fulfillment from the inherent personal nature of our work. We are public accountants after all. Working with other people, collaborating, cheering each other on, and problem solving consistently fills me up. This is particularly true for me when I am teaching, recruiting, and mentoring. We have so many opportunities to impact others in this profession. We really are so lucky. Finally, pride. I'm proud to be a member of a profession that's grounded in knowledge, ethics, and integrity. And I'm incredibly proud of the firm that my partners and I have built and the amazing work we do to serve our Tucson and Southern Arizona clients. I know that receiving this award is in part the result of what I've given back to this profession and service through volunteering and teaching. But what I gave in terms of my time and energy is nothing compared to what I've gained personally and professionally in doing that work. I am humbled. I am grateful. Thank you.
Anita Baker was selected to receive our Life Member Award in 2021. She served as a past chair for the Society as well as a past chair for the Arizona CPA Foundation for Education and Innovation. She's active with the ASCPA, recently being appointed to the chair of the ASCPA Technical Standards DOL Subcommittee, and has also served as a past member of the ASCPA Board of Directors. She's committed to an attitude of service, as evidenced in her volunteer appointments, and Anita's support for her CPA peers in the community is an example to us all. Anita, congratulations.
Good afternoon. I am honored to accept the ASCPA Lifetime Member Award. I would like to thank the nominating committee, the board of directors, the ASCPA staff, and volunteers for your service to the profession. I especially would like to thank Cindy Hubiak for your leadership and for inspiring me to take on leadership roles in the profession. I'm looking forward to getting to know Oliver and continuing to work with the ASCPA. I started my career in 1985 and stayed with CLA for my entire career. I did not envision this for my career path, but along my journey, I learned that the best advice was to understand where you're going and why. My professional journey was very well laid out by those that had gone before me. However, I knew that my path would be different. These are some of the lessons that I learned along my journey. Set personal and professional goals and a timeline for completing those goals. If you can envision your future, you can plan your journey. One of my goals was to be a leader in the profession, specifically on the board of directors and the state society and AICPA. I knew that to get there, I'd need to participate on various committees, take on leadership roles, and network with leaders of the profession. Number 2, take care of yourself. During my journey, there were certainly times when professional goals took time away from my family and for caring for myself. I learned early in my career that when I traveled professionally, I needed to take an extra day for myself. Whether I explored a new city, walked, or had a spa or shopping day, I always made time. Also, I scheduled my vacations well in advance to ensure I had time with my family. Number 3, delegate and build a trusted team. My spouse, Scott, has been very supportive of my career over the last 36 years, especially when raising 2 boys and now my granddaughter. I learned to delegate personally and professionally and ask for help when needed. Number 4, take on leadership opportunities. Ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? The greatest opportunities for me were when I went outside my comfort zone. 5, continue to learn and adapt to change. This last year has been an incredible opportunity to learn and adapt to change. I believe that it has given all of us new perspective on the importance of friends, family, coworkers, as well as creating professional opportunities through learning and networking with professionals. In conclusion, you are empowered to choose how you spend your time at any point in your life. You may need to make choices at certain times that benefit you personally, and at other times that benefit you professionally. I discovered that the why of my journey was to create opportunities for myself and others. You are empowered to set your goals and choose your journey that is right for you. Thank you.
Please join us as we thank both of these outstanding CPAs for their contributions to the profession. We are proud to honor them as ASCPA Life members. We would now like to introduce the president and CEO of the Society, Oliver Yandle.
Oliver took the helm in the midst of a pandemic. He kept the Society moving forward and continued to be a reliable resource for our CPA community. Before joining the Society, Oliver served as Executive Director of the Association of Legal Administrators, the largest international organization providing support to people in the legal management profession. He has held CEO-level positions for a number of other professional service and trade associations. All of this has prepared him to lead the ASCPA as we continue to innovate and grow our connections and community.
2 things you may not know about Oliver is he really likes to cook and he's a big sports fan. He moved here from Chicago, so of course he's a fan of his old local hometown teams like the Bears, the Bulls, and of course the Cubbies. You know, Ross, I moved here about 20 years ago and I was moving from the Midwest as well, and I was a fan of my local hometown teams, but Steve Nash came to the Valley that summer, the Suns took off, and I've been a diehard Suns fan ever since. And who knows, with Chris Paul here and the Suns on a resurgence, maybe we'll see Oliver in a Suns jersey here before not too long.
Hopefully. You know, I grew up in SoCal, but I've converted to a Suns and D-backs and Cardinals fan. At least he's not a Dodgers fan. Hashtag beat LA.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We will now kick it over to Oliver to provide some highlights of the past year.
Thank you, Ross and Ben, and thanks to all of you who've joined us for this special virtual edition of our annual meeting and awards event. I understand this event used to be a grand production with plated dinners, plated lunches, and amazing desserts, so I'm really looking forward to next year. To say that the Society and its members have been going through some challenging times and significant changes might be the understatement of the year. In late March of 2020, the ASCPA closed its doors and the staff was required to work remotely. So this fiscal year began unlike any other before. The team made quick adjustments to how we deliver CPE classes and conferences and continued providing outstanding support to our members during these trying times. This past October, the Society's president and CEO of over 20 years, Cindy Hubiak, retired, and I was fortunate enough to join the staff in her place. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Cindy's service to the profession and to the ASCPA, and to thank her for supporting me and the rest of the staff in creating a very smooth transition. This pandemic brought many legislative changes, and we're fortunate to have a dedicated government relations director to keep our members updated on significant legislation. allow me to share a bit of an update with you. Last year, the legislature saw a record-breaking number of bills. With the abrupt end to the 2020 session due to COVID-19, much of what was introduced was left by the wayside. This year followed suit with more than 1,700 pieces of legislation introduced. And while this trend of a greater number of bills each year continues, know that the ASCPA's advocacy team reviews and monitors them all for impact on the profession, state taxes, and business. The razor-thin margins in the Arizona Senate and House of Representatives means the partisan divide can be even more polarizing at times. The ASCPA continues to work across party lines as a nonpartisan resource, assisting all legislators in pursuit of sensible laws and policy. It might not always be easy to navigate the political, regulatory, and legislative processes, but know that we're constantly engaged on your behalf and promoting the goals and ideals of this profession. Due in large part to your engagement last session and the efforts by the ASCPA, there were no major threats to the CPA credential or profession this year at the legislature. We continue to remind legislators and stakeholders that the CPA profession is the gold standard when it comes to licensing, reciprocity, and mobility. We're always willing to engage with policymakers on how to improve Arizona and the business environment, but a one-size-fits-all approach is unwise and does great harm to this learned profession and the various aspects of the economy that you serve. A special thanks to our volunteer members of the Tax Legislation and Review Committee. These dedicated experts assist our Director of Government Relations and contract lobbyists in reviewing all tax-related legislation and providing analysis and feedback to lawmakers. This year, the committee has assisted several legislators in fine-tuning and refining legislation, further reinforcing the value of the ASCPA and the CPAs in Arizona's legislative process. Thank you to all members who participate in this crucial process and part of the ASCPA advocacy program. As the country responded to the pandemic, the ASCPA has been in the pivot on changes impacting Arizona and communicating to our state and federal officials to provide them with the information necessary to make the tough decisions. We've worked with Governor Ducey, legislative leadership, members of the congressional delegation, and the Arizona Department of Revenue on a myriad of issues facing Arizonans this year. We continue to attend all Arizona State Board of Accountancy meetings and foster a productive relationship that allows for a business-friendly environment and one responsive to the needs of CPAs. With the substantial changes made at the federal level this past year, we knew the legislature would have its work cut out for it. We met with leadership and key committee chairs to reinforce the importance of early passage of income tax conformity and produced a podcast on the subject. In addition to sharing the podcast with all 90 legislators, we also sent letters and informational packets on why the state needs to adopt the annual legislation early. Unfortunately, because of its significant impact on state revenues and overall complexity, the legislature incorporated it into the budget process, and we conformed later than we'd hoped. When the IRS announced the extension of individual income tax debt returns in March, the ASCPA immediately contacted the governor's office, legislative leadership, and the Department of Revenue to inform them of the decision and urge their quick response to align Arizona's deadline. We continued to push for alignment, and on April 6th, Senate Bill 1297 was signed by the governor, extending Arizona's filing deadline for 2021. Quick action may not always be achieved, but the ASCPA vigorously works on your behalf on these and many other issues. We're strengthening our relationships with the legislative leaders, board members, and key agencies. To continue to grow our advocacy program, the ASCPA launched several efforts to further engage with legislators and policymakers. Last December, we held the inaugural advocacy roundtable discussion, which included legislative panelists and participation among ASCPA members. This spring, we held several engagement opportunities with legislators to provide the connection to and promote the value of the CPA profession. Be on the lookout for additional opportunities from the ASCPA as we continue to grow this important part of our work. The legislative process, the ASCPA is a well-respected expert on tax, accounting, finance, and business matters. We'll continue to strengthen that reputation and expand to all areas in which the CPA credential makes a difference. As an equally important tool, the ASCPA PAC allows us to back candidates and incumbents who support the profession and the common sense goals we pursue. Thanks to all of you who've contributed to the PAC. Your contributions make a big difference and allow the ASCPA to fully participate in the political process. For those of you who've not yet contributed, we strongly encourage you to do so to ensure this profession can continue to make a difference. Virtually everything we've done this year has been, well, virtual. Although I've had the privilege of meeting many of you, I'm not sure if I've recognized you without a square box around your face. I can't wait until we can have a more proper introduction. That said, the ASCPA was very successful in responding to this unprecedented COVID challenge. We developed a wealth of resources and tools to help members navigate the pandemic, including information related to the Paycheck Protection Program, the CARES Act, the American Recovery Plan, employee retention tax credits, COVID-19 guidance for small businesses, tax guidance for those impacted by the pandemic, among others. ASCPA volunteers even offered their time and expertise to help nonprofits and small businesses weather the crisis. We brought together the ASCPA community virtually via Zoom to celebrate the end of the never-ending tax season and Halloween. We also welcome new members and the new guy, that would be me. We also launched a new program with our champions to connect seasoned members with new ones and help them leverage all the value the ASCPA has to offer. We delivered exceptional education programs throughout the year virtually. It was a pivot that required tremendous effort and collaboration, and we're grateful to our members, presenters, sponsors for their help and support. Special thanks to Ed Zollers for his invaluable contributions, numerous specialty webinars on COVID relief programs and tax changes, and generous advice and counsel through the Connect community. And never has the need for community been more important, and we appreciate everyone's questions, answers, help, and support in our Connect community. If you haven't taken advantage of it, you should check it out. You'll find a generous group of people willing to help with any challenge you might be facing. And after 20 years at the helm, we celebrated Cindy Hubiak's excellent leadership of the ASCPA as she embarked on her retirement. It has been a year, to be sure, of change, challenge, and opportunity. We've learned a lot from this experience and look forward to brighter days ahead. We're implementing new technologies to better serve your needs and reach new businesses. We're creating new touch points to bring communities of interest to learn and connect with one another. We're bundling educational courses and content to provide targeted resources to help you succeed. In November, we'll launch a new annual conference format. The two-day event will feature 16 credit hours of education, multiple tracks including technology, leadership, and specialty fields, expanded networking, and engagement. All specialty tracks will be webcasted and key general sessions will be available on demand. And we're excited to debut this new hybrid event. Also in November, we'll be developing a new strategic plan for the Society. And with all that change, it's the perfect time to look forward and chart an exciting path for the ASCPA's future. As of today, we're not exactly sure when we'll be able to meet in person again, but we are working diligently to develop plans for safely holding in-person events sometime very soon. I'm honored and excited to be your president and CEO and appreciate the confidence that you placed in me. I'd like to close by thanking our board, volunteers, members, and staff for their support and adaptability as we build a brighter future. Thank you for being members of the ASCPA community and for supporting your employees' memberships.
Thank you for joining us today. It was great to get together, although virtually, and celebrate all the Society has accomplished over the past year or two. We look forward to seeing you live and in person next year back at the Biltmore.
In the meantime, if you want to work on your flexibility, strength, and endurance, Ben and I are happy to have you join us for a bike ride or yoga in the park. Until next time, stay healthy,
stay flexible,
and keep moving forward, one pedal stroke at a time. Enjoy the rest of your day.